Real pressure, tension and anxiety up at Temple Island ahead of the final of the Prince Albert.
Huskies have come a long way and they don't want to go home empty-handed.
Oxford Brookes University wanting to defend what is theirs at the moment. May not be in 7 minutes' time. Off they go then. This is our opening final at Henley Royal Regatta 2023. And you can see the University of Washington on the buck station to the right of your picture. And you've got Oxford Brookes University on the left-hand side. And we're having a look at their boat immediately, trying to relax into a rhythm, get past this tricky part of the race, Temple Island. They've done it many times before this week and in previous years, but it's still a massive test. And under this sort of pressure on finals day, that test is a little bit more.
These are two very powerful crews in a coxed fort. It's a slightly slower boat because you're carrying the weight of the cox. It's all about power. And in the final, you want to try and get out clean. You want to try and get a bit of an edge and to be pressuring the others. And, you know, these two crews have been eyeing each other up throughout the week. The Oxford Brookes Student 8 knocked out Washington in the Temple. So the whole team, the large team from Washington that have come this week, are behind these four men to see if they can take on the mighty squad from Oxford Brookes.
Both boats had a day off yesterday. They raced their semi-finals on Friday, so it's who's dealt with all that time to kick around thinking about it best. They won't have enjoyed Henley like thousands did last night. They'll have been tucked up in bed early and trying to get some sleep, although I imagine the nerves made that difficult. And off they go now in a really tight start. There's nothing to call between these two sides as they head away from Temple Island and down the course. University of Washington just nudging ahead, but really, Kath, at this early stage of the race, it's anyone's.
They are. They're just transitioning into that race pace now, so they're just going to drop down from being in the very high 40s into the high 30s. And Washington are moving at the moment a few inches per stroke. Very powerful crew, but of course we know the Oxford Brookes crew we're looking at there, they have so much experience of where they are on this course, of how to race it, of the race plan to have, the right moves at the right time. Really looking smooth and relaxed there, very focused on their rhythm, how to get the best out of their crew down the course.
And that's the view the rowers have at this early stage of the race, back down towards the start and back towards Temple Island. Also just mention the conditions, it's 17 degrees and there's a little bit of breeze at the moment. Actually the forecast is for there to be quite strong winds by 3 o'clock this afternoon, but at the moment, Kath, you'd be happy with these conditions? Very
happy, very good. Not too hot for the rowers, not too much wind. We haven't got too much river traffic out, so the swell isn't too bad either. And so they can really get into their rowing here. And we can see the coxes there, the front-loaded boats, so they're looking straight down the course. And they'll be looking across at each other. You can see them every now and then looking across to see where the other crew is, because this is side by side at the moment.
Washington edging ahead. Oxford Brookes just trying to keep pace.
Washington last won this in 2015. They brought a squad over, had a particularly strong crew this year, strong squad, wanted to come, wanted to go back with a medal, and at the moment all eyes on these four men. Jonathan Wang Norderud in the bow, Archie Drummond at 2, Ethan Blight at 3, Ryan Smith at stroke, and they are coxed by Casey Neumann. There's very little in it. I mean, Brookes often have a real monster push through the middle of the course, which it looks like they're about to start doing now.
Yeah, just having a look at the Oxford Brookes blades there.
Very relaxed, so we see that kind of power coming on, but without the shoulders lifting unnecessarily. Very effective. So all the power is going into the water. Really good cohesion here, and they are digging in, and I think they are now starting to work back through the small advantage that Washington had.
Yeah, a little bit of a shift in there, just to edge back to at least level with the University of Washington. So Oxford Brookes getting things moving. This is the first of 7 boats they've got in finals today.
They're coming up, they're going toe-to-toe now.
Just look at Oxford Brookes here, getting back to level, and Washington are trying to mount some sort of response and regain their lead, and they're doing that, but this is going to be cat and mouse all the way down the course, hit the midway point of the race, and The Americans just pushing on again, but very, very tight. It's going to be a very grueling race.
Both of these squads have, both of these universities have huge tradition and real strength in depth across the squads. And the winter training that both of these programs will have done at Oxford Brookes up in Wallingford and University of Washington at Seattle will have been ferocious. And it's all for days like today that those miles and miles you've done through the winter are all have to come out on the end of the blade.
Marine Arnett in the stroke seat for Oxford Brookes, trying to set the tempo, trying to communicate, no doubt, with the Cox and from New Zealand. So some experience being over from West End Rowing Club, New Zealand. First year of Oxford Brookes University life. Some way to start it.
Yeah, they're quite an international crew next. Domino Arneric at 2 is also from New Zealand. He's actually Croatian, came to England, so he's been rowing in various countries. But my goodness, Oxford Brookes, as expected, are charging back in the middle of the course. They know where they are. They believe in their programme. They are never afraid if they are down. They have such faith in the results that they have had year after year. They're the holders of this event, and their cox will be telling them, will be urging them on, Bakang Zondi, to say, this is ours, we're holding on to this event. At the moment, they have the edge.
So Oxford Brookes University up against Washington, and it's a really tight race. It has been all the way down the course. Both the coxes, you can see there, Bakang Zondi, Kath just mentioning, Oxford Brookes University will have total faith in what's in the boat here, but have a look at Casey Newman there, the cox for Washington. This is such a tight race, and they're going to have a good idea of where the opposition are, because Oxford Brookes University are just sliding into the lead in front of Stewart's enclosure. This is the Prince Albert Challenge Cup, final few hundred metres in front of Stewart's on finals day. Oxford Brookes with another push, driving to the line now and forcing their way ahead of University of Washington. It's been a great race. Oxford Brookes University leaving everything else on the water. Struggle to the line. You can see in the bow seat there, even Fulstrup just getting his boat that little bit closer. Domenico Arnrech, Jack Cooper, Marine Arnrech, over the line they go, and it's Oxford Brookes University again defending their Prince Albert Challenge Cup trophy. The roars from them, ecstatic scenes in their boat. University of Washington just blown away in the second half of that race. It was so tight for much of it, but the power from Oxford Brookes University, and that is what it means to them.
You see how much they'll have thought about this through the winter, how long, and those hard sessions they've trained for this. They have such belief in the programme, and they have such experience of winning at Henley. They know the race plan for if you're up, for if you're down, and they rode supremely. Once they got through, Washington had no more power that they could throw at them.
Just watching really closely in that bow seat, Ivan Fulstrup in the last few strokes, gritting his teeth and digging as deep as he's ever dug. And their work is done.
That cox knew exactly what to do. They did not worry about going a little down. They absolutely knew they had the programme, they had the race plan, they executed it to perfection.